Hello, everybody. It is Covert Reality, and we haven't done a broadcast in a long time, so let's get to it. When it comes to geoengineering, we used to do a whole bunch of broadcasts on radio and through 100.3 FM, and we had 6 months of that, which was great. And you can only say so much. It's good to keep on the ball, though, with what's going on. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin meeting today is very important on this Friday, July the 7th, 2017. And there are a lot of interesting things have come about with the fact that the United States has pulled out of the climate change agreement, or the climate change scam unbinding agreement that was not ever voted upon or legally binding whatsoever. So it's really nice to be in a situation where a G20 meeting comes down to a bunch of vultures that are very hungry for dominance and control. And you got a few big powerhouses that are going against all those other interests to say, like, look, you can no longer do this. And I'm really excited because when I grew up and I saw, the hopes and dreams of everybody when I was a teenager, we all had our decisions of where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do. It seemed like we had choices. Now it just seems like everything's so controlled and nutty. I want that excitement back again. We all want it back, and the ability to grow and make everything awesome again. Not to sound like any slogan, but we really do need to clear house and do some really good things, that overall, that literally protect our children, protect our land, protect our air, and does whatever it possibly can to make us all live in harmony and stop being sprayed. So we still have a lot of spraying going on in Waterloo region, above us in the sky here. Pretty much all of southern Ontario is affected by this. In between the lakes and in between nuclear facilities, it's very creepy, really, to be honest with you, because they have a lot of interesting developments going on here. Massive surge and flux of immigrants have come in. We welcome them. We just don't welcome the sleeper cells that are planted here to cause some problems. So we're just hoping that the George Soros affiliated nonsense that comes about, that kind of rhetoric, is taken apart and disassembled. Because we need to move on to a new time that brings back another level of purity and gives color into all the spirits in the world, that brings more hope into the future, that brings hope into the grandpas and grandmas that are passed away or that are about to pass on and want to see a better world for their grandkids. This is one of those times where we really have to purify our air as good as we can, fight against the evils that be, no matter how big they are. We have purification techniques to take care of the negative energies, and so if you want to help to gain access to more pure surroundings, you can get a hold of Florence LaRose on Facebook, or you can find her orgonite pieces at the Bamboo House down on Water Street in Cambridge. And she makes orgonite that helps to get rid of the positive ions that are negative for us. And get rid of all of it, like the radiation and the bad frequencies from the cell towers and cell phones and laptops and stuff. But I kind of want to do an episode today after not doing one for a long time. And I feel like it's important enough to want to speak about where we're at Now I see like we're still being sprayed, like I just mentioned, and it wasn't so for a while because we were testing a chem buster here in town, and anyone that would like any more information on owning their own chem buster, please get a hold of me, and you can send a message underneath here with your I don't know, email address or something. So just trying to like get a grip on what kind of huge players there really were and are still advocating for geoengineering or for talking about it, that it could happen, and trying to confuse the public that it's already been happening for a long time. But we've come to a kind of interesting time, because now I'd never been able to say this before. When I was doing 100.3 FM on CKMS in Waterloo, 1 to 2 o'clock every Friday, from May 6th till October 6th or something like that. Like I said, we got a good 6 months in there. But near the end there, my VP, they was trying to do whatever he could beforehand to get me out of there, to annoy me and get under my skin, to file any sort of report to get me kicked out. It was a game pretty much to get me kicked out. I guess I was saying too much, ruffling too many feathers. I stuck in there for a while. He ended up getting David Keith on one of the programs there, and interviewed David Keith. I finally listened to that interview, and I'd come to find that whenever Dan Keller, from the VP from 100.3 FM in Waterloo, would try to bash chemtrail people and try to put them in some sort of a category of being nuts or not knowing what they're talking about, David Keith ended up saying, no, I have to be very, very careful about what I say when it comes to chemtrails. Like, he kept saying that. David Keith was saying that. So it's very good that I finally listened to it. I didn't want to even listen to it for a while. I just heard from a few people saying, yeah, it looks like they're trying to make an attempt to bash Covert Reality. Obviously it was, because Dan Keller was talking about a movement and people talking, and obviously it was my show that I had on 100.3 FM. So it was really weird that he had David Keith on to fight against what I was talking about. He'd always make fun of me and try to get under my skin. But I just still don't know if he was paid to do that, or if he just in his inside thought, no, he didn't believe it to be true, and it scared him because he had kids and just thought it was some rogue weird dude. Don't know, but it doesn't matter anymore. When I heard David, it was almost like David Keith couldn't say anything about Covert Reality or say anything about the movement of chemtrail theories, or he wouldn't even speak upon it. He didn't even ridicule it at all. Even though Dan Keller tried to bring on a conversation of bashing the chemtrail witnesses and geoengineering activists, he's trying to make us look like we're all kind of stupid. David Keith was saying, now I must be very careful about what I say, and it was really great that he was saying that. This is David Keith we're talking about, one of the most evil scientists on the planet that most people don't have a clue exists yet. But along with Ken Caldera and his funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, why the heck not? May as well go out there and act like you're awesome because you got like NASA and a bunch of people behind you. I'm just kind of disappointed in what's going on. A lot of different weird things going on. But as far as still trying to kick this whole thing under the covers, but we still got that Mohawk billboard up. And if anyone wants to please donate to that, please do. We need your help more than ever to keep that up. Now we're going to be getting a bigger donation soon, but we need yours now to keep the rental going on it. So if anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's a billboard near Caledonia that we have up that says they're spraying Mohawk territory. Has Joseph Brant of the Mohawks pointing into the sky filled with chemtrails. And it's byebyebluesky.com. this website you want to go to, Susan Marr, that takes care of that website, and you can donate to all sorts of billboards on that website, or you can just go to the Mohawk Billboard. You can check out Mohawk Billboard GoFundMe, and it'll come up on Google, and donate to that if you can. That'd be great, because it's a beautiful billboard on Highway 6 near Caledonia, and it's great. You can see it for a quarter of a mile. We're really excited about that. So just wanted to make a brief little announcement here to say that I'm interested in to see what Vladimir Putin and America, or Trump, ends up doing, because they both were calling out like weather modification a long time ago, and there was a whole bunch of heat saying that they were guilty of weather modification, but I just don't believe it. I think there's some really good people out there that really exist, and the really good people get scrutinized and made to look like they're really not good at all. I know that well, and I'm sick of it entirely, and I feel for everyone else out there that's been going through the same thing. It's been just so annoying to have people put you down and make you feel like you're weird or crazy or something, because you're just trying to look through all the spider webs to be the one to get your face caught with the spiders, on it once in a while. And even though you got to wipe the spider webs out of your eyes, you still get through. And a lot of people got to understand that there is a simplicity in the world, and if we can get back to the Haldeman Proclamation here on the Haldeman Tract here in southern Ontario and most of Ontario, we can realize what kind of nature needs to be protected here along the Haldeman. And it was given, the Haldeman Proclamation, and it exists, and it's used to this day to fight off federal, happenings. Like there was like I mentioned, I think on another episode, that there was a smoke shop at Tim Hortons and a gas station about to go up on Mohawk territory, and it took a 22-year-old loyal grandson of Bill Squire, Cole Squire, to come out and calmly, peacefully speak of the proclamation, and the sheriff and land entitlement officer just kind of leaves, right? So we need to understand that we have something here. While the hydro commissions are just really doing us in. I've been really blessed with a whole bunch of do not pay free credit bills lately, because of some security deposits I'd paid in the past. So it's kind of nice that before I move out of here, that I'll actually won't have to pay too much hydro or any, because we're already being fried and manipulated by this evil Hydro One. And I'm telling you, I would not say evil if people weren't evil. So, like David Keith, you're evil. I mean, we know you're paid a lot to pretend that you're smart and that you're awesome, and smart you may well be, but when you're deceiving people, that's not smart at all. Well, you can be a scientist all you want, but if you're a deceiving scientist, and there's a whole bunch of scientists that have been killed off, innocent people that are just doing really well, like trying to do and figure out what's going on to do their part in the world, are killed. No negotiation whatsoever, just killed, blown up in an airplane. What, 12 frequency scientists? In different situations, we're seeing all sorts of different people just passing away. Yeah, I think it's too late for that now. I really do. I think that the tides are turning. People like Leonardo DiCaprio, you're in a really interesting position. You've been advocating that we're the problem for climate change. Still got a lot of people out there that believe that. We got to keep going, though, folks. We got to keep out there and keep at them. Keep educating your brothers and sisters. I'm not out of this covert reality spiel thing. I'm definitely, my heart's here. Whenever I feel like I want to make an announcement or make an episode, I will. It's not about me. It's just kind of about feeling things out with what everyone's feeling, and updating you in the process. So that's just another short episode of Covert Reality, and we'll see you next time.